here today with Randall Soda with Shelby Industries. Just following up and receiving information on how we've done and what we've accomplished. One of the things that we've been working with you on is recommending a full synthetic product to eliminate the soluble oils that were in-house. And I understand there's been several different areas where we've been able to have an impact, positive impact in those areas.
Yeah. Well, yes, I'm the Director of Business Development here. However, though, I'm also a tool and die maker by trade and a tooling engineer by profession. Most of my experience in the automotive world, the previous lubrication that they were using was a water-soluble oil.
Yes, sir.
Base type thing. And for many years, that is what they use. And you know how it is in a press shop. People don't like change.
Yes.
Several companies prior to you came in here presenting a different lubrications to our process, and none of them really worked. Our process is a little bit more complicated in that we have to go through the stamping shop, and then it stands for a while, and then it goes to the welding shop, which is mostly robotic welders,
yes.
And then it stands for a little while more, and then it goes to the zinc line, and then onto assembly. Well, the water-soluble oil and other products that we've tried previously to you guys coming in, it still caused a lot of either rust, or it never reduced the friction on our deep draws. You know, the couplers, they are pretty deep draw.
Yes.
We never, therefore resulting in a lot of our the sides of the couplers scoring up a lot. And I showed that to you.
Yes, they were very rough.
This is the scoring that I was talking about. It's not scored now, but we used to have this whole side scored up. Feel that?
Right, I remember there were lines deep.
That's what we're doing in this die. We're putting those holes in.
Oh, okay.
But look at the condition of that part.
Yes.
Now I asked you a question. What have you noticed? No lubricant.
No. So the lubricant that was used for the original forming?
That's what I'm talking about.
No secondary cause. No additional.
It stays on there.
There's enough left on there to then.
At one time, you can ask him. We had to saturate that die in lubricant. We did a lot of high die maintenance, especially on the male rads, on the draw rads, on radiuses. Every single run, and sometimes during the run, maybe 3 or 4 times, we had to polish those rads in order to eliminate or reduce the scoring. Now, fast forwarding to when you guys came in, we used to do die maintenance on those couplers during the run and every single time after every production run.
Okay.
Now, about every 4 runs, and the run volumes are high. Based on the last piece, that's what we go by. We inspect the last piece or the condition of the last piece, like it was 4 runs ago.
Amazing.
I contribute that to the product we're using now as a lubrication. But your products increase my die life tremendously, man. In most of the components, especially the difficult ones, we have a gear die, which is it's a difficult die to run. You've seen the gears,
Yes.
right?
Right.
It has a lot of those sprockets all the way around, with a big opening in the center, and all the pierce holes around it. One hit.
You're blanking out of gear. It's kind of like.
It's hot. My goodness, that thing hits hot.
In one shot.
One hit. We've had so many issues with it. Very frustrating tool. Now that I'm using this lubrication system, it's reduced so much friction around that die, especially with that big cutout, that the die is currently running right now as we speak in the 350. You've got to see that thing run. We did nothing to the die. We changed nothing. except the lubrication.
All these little ones don't get stuck to the conveyor. Oh!
Look at how much all in one hit. Because of all that teeth right there, all these holes right here, including that, one hit. So this goes up and it has to eject perfectly level. Because if it ejects slightly out, it's going to hold up and it's going to crash that die. This die has gone through probably 8 to 9 crashes already prior to us using this lubrication.
You haven't had a crash since you changed?
Haven't had one crash, not one. Also, this is what you call a high maintenance die.
Okay.
It's gotta be sharpened. Do you see there's no, can you feel no burrs?
No.
Hasn't been maintained in 4 runs. Normally every run, this had to do it, but not anymore. It went then to the welding.
Okay, the welding.
And now you were part of that too.
Yes.
So, and I thought, quite frankly, this is where we're going to fall down. Because previously with the water oil-based soluble, we had a lot of welding flux issues around the weld itself. We had to hand clean all of that prior to zinking. Well, surprisingly, you guys formulated this thing to accommodate that.
Yes.
So everything coming off the welding now does not need the secondary cleaning. So that too helped us with our indirect labor. We had 2 people on the zinc line cleaning parts every day, hand scrubbing them with that Brillo pad, you know, in acid. Gone away. 2 more people, indirect labor, now direct labor. Let's take, for example, one reel. There's in some reels there's 5 side plates in between the reels. You know the plates.
And these are side reels meant for
Winches.
winches for boat trailers.
Right. From the press room goes to the welding. This is where we normally had the problem with our welding. But you've got to see the welds now. They are absolutely great. It's a fine example of what I'm talking about. Now, look at the condition of that weld. You tell me if that's not a healthy weld.
Yeah.
Look at that thing. Do you see any black ring around it? None. Don't exist. We can hold the consistency of that weld, not in any way afraid of any oil residue messing our welds up. That's because we're using a dry pot now. We're not using an oil-based pot.
Yeah.
This whole thing would be scrapped because of bad welds right here.
So what would you say?
Look at the condition of that weld.
What would you say your percentage of scrap change was?
About probably 80% less. See all the plates?
Oh, wow.
Look at the condition of that weld.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
A lot of money in that part right there.
A lot of money in that part. During the zinking process, there are cavities, deep cavities inside the, let's take a coupler for example. There's cavities all over this coupler that needs to get zinced. Due to the part not cleaning properly in the cleaning tanks, the electrical current wouldn't get into those cavities.
I see.
And that would be unzinced. It wouldn't, but we don't have that problem anymore because it gets cleaned properly now. And we don't have oil on the pot, that's why. You know. This is just assembly area. end product right there. And now you've just seen this gear being pressed out in the press room.
Yes. Right.
And now this is where it ends up. We used to mainly get a lot of black rings around this area right here. That day we couldn't get rid of for nothing. I kid you not. But you can see now, this is what we're getting. See that?
That's nice. That's pretty.
This process is so far away from the lubrication process, yet it has a direct effect on appearance now.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
You're the final product.
Yeah, and you know, the customer is more about appearance than they are about,
Right.
it's about cosmetics for them, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, nonetheless, this was an enormous eye-opener for me. I didn't think something like this can exist, man. But, I mean, there he has it, you know?
Right.
You guys are freaking geniuses. I don't know how the hell you do this stuff.
And after, I guess, my father being the original developer of the synthetic chemistry, and then it's receiving the feedback from folks like you, explaining, here's where I'm having trouble. Here are the things that we experience in this world, in the stamping world, as an engineer and a die designer. And so we just kept chipping away at formulating out the negatives. Is there anything right now that we need to look at with the chemistry to make things even better for you at this time?
I mean, how did you ask me that thing? You guys have provided us a great product. I don't know how to improve on this.
Okay.
I mean, this boggles my mind in the first place. I don't know how you did this stuff. Like I say, that's so far away from the actual lubrication. They don't even know what we've done or what we've changed, but yet there's an impact on our assembly as well. And of course our shipping.
Yes.
Yeah. And it gives us a good impression with the customer too.
Absolutely. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to view this short presentation. We can help your company reduce your costs and eliminate the general issues that you see on a day-to-day basis.